Look, there he is, behind that tree. Tyler's voice cut through the night. We all turned and shined our flashlights in that direction. And there he was. The same man from the bathroom. Half his body was sticking out from behind a tree at the edge of our campsite. Just standing there, watching us. He'd followed them back. When he realized we'd spotted him, he tried to play it off. Started to walk away like it was nothing. Then he stopped. And in this slow, deliberate voice, he said, "Put the light down, little boy, and go to bed." We were miles away from anyone, 7 of us camping in the woods, and this man had been pacing outside the bathroom, waiting, watching, following. I'm Alvin, and this is Common Ground Horror. This happened in July 2025. My group of friends and I went on a camping trip to Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. There were 7 of us total. Me and my friends, Ryan, Marcus, Sean, Tyler, and Jake, all of us between 18 and 20 years old, and Jake's dad, David, who was in his mid-50s. It was supposed to be a fun trip, our last night camping before heading home. The campsite was nice, pretty remote, the kind of place where you could actually see the stars. Our tents were set up in a cluster around the fire pit. The bathroom was just across the road from our site, maybe a 30 to 45 second walk. You could see it from our tents. It was that close. Everything had been normal the whole trip. No problems, no weird vibes. Just a good time with friends in the wood. Until that night. It was around 12:15 a.m. I was in my tent, half asleep, trying to wind down for the night. Jake and his dad David were still at the campsite. They were waiting for my other friends to come back from the bathroom so they could all go together to take the trash out. The trash bins were up the road a bit, and we'd been taking the full bag out in a group just to be safe at night. My friends Ryan, Marcus, Sean, and Tyler were across the road in the bathroom, brushing their teeth and getting ready for bed. Probably fooling around a little bit like we always did. Nothing crazy, just typical late-night camp behavior. According to my friends, they were joking around in the bathroom. Tyler had unplugged Marcus's phone as a prank. Marcus was yelling at him, jokingly, but definitely yelling. Some name-calling, some obscenities, nothing too loud, but you know how guys get. They were laughing about it. Then, suddenly, a man walked into the bathroom. He looked to be in his mid to late 30s, maybe early 40s. Sean was kind of in the guy's way near the entrance. When Sean noticed, he moved aside and said, "Oops, sorry." The man said nothing, didn't acknowledge him, didn't say it was fine, just nothing. He walked past them to the urinal, used it, flushed, washed his hands, and walked out. Still, without saying a single word. My friends said there was something off about him. He looked dead inside, they said. Like he had this 1,000-yard stare. Eyes that didn't really focus on anything. It was creepy, but not necessarily alarming. It was late, people looked tired, whatever. The bathroom had a row of windows at the very top of the walls, way too high to look through, but they were open. So you could hear things outside if they were close enough. After the man left, my friends heard something. Footsteps. Pacing back and forth on the gravel outside the bathroom. Right outside. Right beneath those windows. They stopped brushing their teeth and just listened. Totally silent. Totally freaked out. The footsteps kept pacing. Back and forth. If the guy was just walking back to his campsite, there'd be no reason to be on that side of the building. The road was on the other side. You'd walk that way. But this sounded like someone pacing, deliberately staying outside the bathroom. Then the door opened, and the same man walked back in. He went to the same urinal, but this time, he wasn't actually using it. He was just standing there, pretending. My friends exchanged glances. This was wrong. This was very wrong. Without saying anything to each other, they all silently agreed. Get out. Now. They packed up their stuff quickly and quietly, and they walked out of the bathroom together. As they were leaving, they thought they heard something behind them. Footsteps, maybe. They weren't sure. But they walked faster. They got back to the campsite and immediately found Jake and David. "Dude, something really weird just happened in the bathroom," Ryan said, talking fast. They explained the whole thing. The guy, the pacing, the return to the urinal. David listened, his face serious. "Which direction did he go?" he asked. They pointed back toward the bathroom. David grabbed a flashlight. So did Jake. And so did the others. They turned and shined their lights in that direction. That's when Tyler said it. "Look, there he is behind that tree." I was in my tent. I heard Tyler's voice, and I heard the shift in everyone's tone. The fear. I sat up, listening. The flashlight beams lit up the edge of our campsite, and there, partially hidden behind a tree about 30 feet away, was the man. Half his body was visible, the other half still behind the tree, just standing there, staring at them. He'd followed them back from the bathroom. For a second, nobody moved. Then the man seemed to realize he'd been caught. He started to walk away, casually, like he was just passing by, like this was totally normal. But then he stopped. He turned back toward them, and in this slow, deliberate, almost mocking voice, he said, "Put the light down, little boy, and go to bed." I heard that from my tent, clear as day. My blood ran cold. David, Jake's dad, immediately stepped forward. "Stop following my boys," he shouted. The man didn't flinch. "I was going for a walk," he said, his voice flat. "I heard them hooting and hollering in the bathroom, being super loud this late at night." David wasn't having it. "Yeah, right, totally," he said, his tone dripping with disbelief. There was a pause. The man just stood there for a moment. Then, without another word, he turned around and walked off. Into the complete darkness. No flashlight, no phone light, nothing. Just disappeared into the black. I was still in my tent, listening to all of this. I didn't see the man. I only heard the conversation once they shined the lights on him. But I experienced something nobody else really did. As the man walked away, I had this overwhelming feeling. This intuition that I couldn't shake. It felt like he didn't continue down the road like he should have. It felt like he veered off. Like he cut across the open field next to our campsite instead. There was nothing out there, just an empty field that led to a pond. No campsites, no bathrooms, no reason to go that way. But I could feel it. You know that feeling you get when you can sense someone's looking at you, even though you can't see them, you just know? It was like that. From my tent, lying on the air mattress, I could physically feel someone passing by behind us. cutting through that field. It made my skin crawl. David immediately tried calling the park ranger. No answer. He tried again. Still nothing. So he called the police. It took them a while to get there. We're pretty remote. But eventually, an officer showed up. We told them everything. The bathroom, the pacing, the man following them, hiding behind a tree. The officer listened and nodded. "This isn't as uncommon as you might think," he said. He explained that sometimes homeless people come through the area. They get into campsites, take supplies, food, whatever they can find. He wasn't saying that's definitely what this was, but it happens. They searched the area with flashlights, checked the woods, checked the fields, checked near the pond. Didn't find anything. No sign of the man. No trace. By that point, we were all spooked. David made the call. "We're packing up. We're leaving tonight." And we did. In the middle of the night, we broke down the tents, loaded the cars, and got out of there. None of us wanted to stay. The next morning, once we were home, we called the campground office. We reported everything, gave them as detailed a description of the man as we could remember. Mid to late 30s, maybe early 40s, average build, 1,000-yard stare. The woman on the phone listened carefully. Then, she said something that made it even worse. To our knowledge, there's no camper currently at the park who matches that description. No registered camper. Nobody fitting that description had checked in. So who was he? Why was he there? And what was he doing pacing outside that bathroom in the middle of the night? To this day, my friends and I still talk about it. We try to figure out what was going on in that guy's head, what his plan was. Because it's pretty clear he had one. He went into the bathroom, saw a group of young guys, heard them messing around. Then he left and started pacing outside, waiting. Then he came back in and pretended to use the urinal again. Why? Was he waiting for one of them to leave alone? Was he waiting for the group to split up? And when they all left together, he followed them back to our campsite. He hid behind a tree and watched. If we hadn't turned around and shined those lights, if David hadn't been there, what would have happened? The officer said it might have been someone looking to steal supplies. Maybe. But I don't think someone looking to steal camping gear follows a group of people back to their site and hides behind a tree watching them. I think he was waiting for an opportunity. And I think David being there, an adult, a father figure, someone who immediately confronted him, scared him off. I think if it had just been us, 6 guys in our late teens, he might have tried something. We got lucky. We noticed him behind that tree. And we had David with us. And we left that night. But I still think about it, about the way he said, "Put the light down, little boy, and go to bed." Like he had authority over us. Like we were supposed to just obey and go to sleep. And let him do whatever he was planning to do. I think about the feeling I had in my tent, the certainty that he didn't leave, that he cut across that field, that he stayed out there, watching. We'll never know who he was or what he wanted, but I'm pretty sure we dodged something really bad that night. And I'll never forget the sound of Tyler's voice. "Look, there he is behind that tree." If you've lived through a nightmare you can't explain, I want to hear it. Send your stories to commongroundhorror@gmail.com to be featured on the channel. This has been Alvin for Common Ground Horror. Until next time, sleep well, if you can.